Hello, I'm Basil.
And I'm Susan, and we're the proud owners of Mullins Coffee Shop in Dorking. We fell in love with this beautiful building 4 years ago and felt it only fitting to retain its history and keep this legendary story alive. Mullins Coffee Shop is part of Mullins House, and this section of the house is where it is believed that William made his shoes, not only for the surrounding towns, but also for the Mayflower voyage to the New World. And this is the original wall. These are the original stairs which Priscilla and her family would have climbed to get to their living quarters. And as you can see, they are very, very tiny. And this is the original fireplace. Although we are not descendants ourselves, being part of preserving this history is very dear to our hearts, and it gives us great pleasure meeting many pilgrim descendants year after year. Here we have Mullins table mats, which the customers love to read all about the history while they are awaiting their food.
So these are two of the treatment rooms at Mayflower Spa. This could have actually been part of the living area for William Mullins and is part of West Street and his home. The beams are the original ones from when it was first built, and we've kept it in keeping with the style of the time.
Hope you will enjoy this virtual tour of Dorking. Have a great AGM.
And we look forward to welcoming you all to Mullins House in the very near future.
Mullins House, where he has his business premises. As you can see, it's a very big building, business premises, 4 gables up there on the top. Ignore that brick tile hanging, that would have been there during Mullins' time. We know that there was a building on this site since the 1400s, and it was very much rebuilt in the early 17th century, possibly by Mullins himself. The shops, it's now got 4 different shops, and they would have all been open to the public at the bottom. As you can see, only one of them currently is. And it's right at the centre, still today, of the thriving part of Dorking. One of the oldest buildings in Dorking. We know that this one went back to the 15th century. It's a half-timbered building with very low ceilings, small windows, and the building would certainly have been known to Mullins and his family, as it was 2 cottages at the time rather than a pub. Dorking has several pubs during this time, and no doubt Mullins spent time in them. Actually, it was far safer to drink the water, to drink beer than water. But this building actually wasn't a pub at the time. But the King's Arms name was in use very close to the Mullins House itself. Okay, so we're now at the inn where Mullins' family probably drank. It was called the King's Arms, and it was very close to his house, and very little of it remains now. Just this gable window here. Interesting thing about that, you can see these lovely lion carvings, and underneath that the initials E.G. there. And those are the initials of Edward Goodwin, and Edward Goodwin was the landlord of the inn during the time that Mullins is here. So we have that direct connection going back to the early 17th century, and it's still here today. Well, this is a little lane that the Mullins family, particularly Alice and Priscilla, would have known very well, because this is the lane that runs down from the family home down to the brook that was at the bottom of the lane. Of course, that's where they would have had to do their family washing. Behind me is a fantastic little cottage, and this one goes back to the 1560s, so it certainly would have been passed very regularly by the female members of the Mullins family while they were going to do their washing. We know that it was built in the 1560s because the person who built it, a glover, got into big trouble for actually digging clay out of the stream down there to form its foundations. Of course, if you dig out clay and you muddy the river, it's not great for everyone else who's doing their washing or using it for the tannery or for all their various other uses, because we have no piped water, of course, during this period.
No. Well, thank you very much for trying, though. I appreciate it. Cheers.
Well, here we are at St Martin's, the parish church of Dorking, and in the 17th century, when the Mullins family lived here, this was the only church in Dorking, so this is where we would assume that they must have worshipped, unless they were religious dissenters, in which case they would have been fined for not worshipping here. The church that you can see behind me is a Victorian church, obviously much later period, but it's on the site of earlier churches, and we know that there was a church here since the Norman Conquest. That's before 1066, and a much smaller, squatter little church that the Mullins family would have attended. Well, we're standing outside the White Horse, which is right in the market centre of Dorking, and during Mullins' time there was a market hall right outside. This is where all the chickens, the animals, the corn were all traded in the 17th century. And the town lockup was on the first floor of that market hall there. What we can see in front of me now is a building that is a bit later, it's 18th century, but the interior, which you can still visit if you go in there for a drink, if you go to stay, would have been fairly familiar to the Mullins family. Well, here we are at Putney Corner, and the street layout of Dorking, unbelievably, is pretty much exactly the same as it was in the 17th century. So Mullins would have known this corner very well. The chicken market was held here, and it's right in the heart of the commercial centre of the town. So this is where you would have been trading your glovers, your shoemakers, your hatters, your haberdashers, your tanners. Everyone was congregated with their businesses right here on Putney Corner. So here's a bit of perspective where Dorking is situated. We're standing right on the top of Box Hill, which is one of the highest points in southern England. You can see Dorking nestles at the foot of the Chalk Downs up here. It's an area of outstanding natural beauty, fantastic walks all over the area here. And you may be thinking, where have I heard of Box Hill before? Well, you're probably thinking of Emma, the many films of Emma from the Jane Austen novel. And of course the key scene in Emma is set on Box Hill, the picnic scene where Emma insults Miss Bates. And so this hill is famous really for being in one of the most important scenes in English literature.